Hello and welcome. This is Karen Kane. Why did I leave my spiritual center when I think COVID was just starting? We were just starting to get freed up to kind of like have a little bit more interaction and, community. What happened and why? Well, I'm gonna get this off my chest. I do not have anything planned other than what is here in my head. And so because I wanted to be from my heart. And I think that, everything is divinely guided. If I left my spiritual center, it was divinely guided. And ironically enough, which there's no ironic, it's literally everything is happening for us. No coincidences, no accidents. That wasn't it happening to me. It was happening for me, which is the shift of perception. The shift of perception will change your life, change your thinking, change your life. So, I should have turned my email off. Hey guys, I've got some Instagram friends that I love. So so the funny thing is today I was meditating and I chose this meditation that was resonating with me. I was like, I want to do a longer meditation, 20 minutes. And this topic seemed good, which of course, right now I can't think of the topic, but it was something about a different reality. And so what the different reality in the meditation that I did was, I got to walk on a path, but then there was that other path if I had made the different decision. So I chose to, in the meditation, to go on this other path, which was the path of, had I accepted what my spiritual center said to me, was that like they were questioning my posts. And if I had said, okay, I get it, I won't do that anymore. I'm sorry. I'll take that post down. I get it. If I had walked that path, which is the opposite of what I did, what I chose was, wow, they're calling me out on my posts. I was at the one of the lowest points of my sobriety, because that was at the time when the narcissist, uh, fine, I'll call him a narcissist, toxic person, whatever, or narcissistic person that I was dating, or whatever I was doing, I don't really know, had broken up with me. It was about 2 years ago. So it's taken me 2 years to actually like be able to just share this story about the spiritual center, because it's been eating away at me. The mystery, the questions, the, stories the story that was told to me, and me just not accepting that was truth, and just not giving up on trying to get the answers, of like, who was it that was following me and said something that my post might not have been appropriate? Um, you know, did the story make sense? Were they actually telling me the truth? So a lot of this is still up in the air. So I'm just calling it like it is. I still question how that all went down, because literally, if that was my spiritual center, and granted, COVID had a lot to do with it. Okay. So there's a lot of factors that affected this decision. And none of them were like stable, because I was in a very unstable, whatever it was, toxic relationship with a toxic person. And I chose that because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. So I was definitely under this spell in this shared fantasy. Sorry, who gets emails? It's because it's tomorrow's Cyber Monday. So I apologize for the ding ding, because I'm not going to go in and change it. Let's just say that means that we're blessed. Every time there's an email, we're blessed and we're abundant. Okay. So what happened, was that it was 2 years into COVID. I was at a very low place because right before the holidays, he broke up with me. He literally said, if we were together, we're not. Like, that's how crazy it was. After 2.5 years, if we're together, we're not. Okay. So yeah. I mean, so then I'm doing the best I can to try to keep my positive bright light outlook and my spiritual outlook, like everything's happening for our greatest and highest good, and have compassion. And I was really doing the best that I could to save my own soul, and to not, like, imagine, like, I could have drank, I could have, like, really done some crazy stuff, but I did do something crazy because when my spiritual center, first of all, and the way that they handled it was really not professional in my opinion, because literally I got the phone call after being knowing that they wanted to talk to me. It kind of like was days where I was waiting and waiting, and I'm thinking, what is going on? And literally at this dark time, it's the dark night of the soul, quite truthfully, is what I was going through. And it's not the first, but this is what happens. This is how we transform our lives. And like I said, everything's happening for us. Okay. So then I literally was rushing to get to work at 5 o'clock. I show up to work and I get the phone call. And it's like right when my shift is starting. I've been waiting for this call for 2 days, knowing and anticipating it. And I am like dumbfounded, shocked. It's about your post. And I was like, what? And she basically said it was not appropriate. It was somebody like reached, pointed it out to her attention and said that it was like borderline soft porn. And I was devastated because that I believe, and I was doing some stuff that was a little weird too. I had actually, and I'm just going to call myself out on it because it was weird. I was under that like spell and under that like weirdness of the toxic relationship, but I had signed up as affiliate for what the heck was it? Like a lingerie company. So I maybe had posted like nothing inappropriate, more like, get in touch with your feminine side, and which is also really important, I believe, for us as women, is to because nowadays we're like these go-getters, we're like all this masculine energy, and it's important for us to tap into that feminine side. And also losing the narcissistic relationship, I think that was a way for me to try to empower myself. So I was like grasping at anything to keep me above water and not drown. Yes. So the phone call and the post was all about self-love. And it was after a yoga workout that I did. I was on my mat and I was in goddess pose. So it's a yoga pose. And I think I had a red light or pink light or something. And I guess, it could have been, everybody sees their things through their own perception and their own eyes. But in the eyes of God, you are just like me. So that's the first mistake, spiritual center. It also that there's no ego in God. So if I was doing something inappropriate, there needed to be a face-to-face conversation. There needed to be a discussion. There needed to be not a like surprise phone call. Oh, surprise, like we're calling you out on your soft porn post that you're trying to really really like be the light and share how important it is to have the self-love, because when you don't have the self-love, you probably, like me, I had an addiction and I basically drank myself to oblivion all the time because I did not have a confidence. I did not have the self-love. So both parties at fault, in my opinion. Yes, I made some serious mistakes. But yes, it was handled poorly. Poorly. And I also, quite honestly, I don't believe I was told the truth. And I'm going to, and I finally said something like, I want the truth. And so I'm waiting to find out what the answer is going to be. Because if they just tell me the truth, the straight up truth, and it might be calling those people out if there was somebody outside of the spiritual center that didn't like my posts. First of all, if that is the truth, that's what I was told, then you person, you could have come to me and you could have talked to me. Because ultimately what it did is it caused some serious damage within the relationship between myself and my spiritual center. And so that being said, again, the meditation I did was basically me thinking about, had I taken that other, had I made a different choice, and said, okay, I'll take the post down. I'm so sorry. I know that was a little risky and maybe I should not have put spiritual practitioner sessions available because I was under the umbrella of the spiritual center. That would have been the other path. But the thing is I was at such a low point at that time that I really felt like so hurt and so abandoned in a time where I was already kicked to the curb. So hurt, so abandoned from the relationship and the way that was handled. So I'm talking right now to free this and to heal from this. Today's meditation, no accidents, no coincidences, that I was able to go down that path in my meditation and understand that it actually was for my good, of course, because it was inevitable. It was inevitable that eventually I would have left my spiritual center because it was already building up, I think, within me as soon as I did become legitimately a spiritual practitioner under that center, that it was like, it was a little weird for me. It was like I was feeling as if there was some weird pushback within. And so I think, of course, everything is divinely guided. And so the way I see it now after that meditation is like, it was inevitable. And this way it went down is this way, it like flipped it on them. Like they instigated and were the catalyst of me leaving. Instead of like me kind of struggling through having some issues, not feeling quite like I was part of the clique, I'm going to say, or the cliques. Yeah. In the last 2 years, I've been involved with a lot of cliques who I feel like have abandoned me because I wasn't exactly part of the clique. And so here's the thing is everything's divinely guided. Everything's happening for our greatest and highest good. And for that, I'm so grateful. So what happened is that I made a move in a dark time and I was just being me, child of God that I am, unique individualization. And personally, I don't believe that I did anything that was at fault. I was called out on it and I wasn't willing to modify who I had worked so hard to become to be able to be so bold and so free and to share who I am, like all of it. A practice that I love, yoga plus my spirituality, plus my practitioner session capability. I help a lot of people. I coach a lot of people, and in 4 sessions or 30 days, I can literally change their life with them. They do the work, I help them. And so, you know, I have to let it go. But I will tell you that recently, the thing that was eating me up and why I wasn't feeling like I could just go back there, even though I kind of haven't made amends, is that I still feel like I wasn't exactly told the truth. And in my gut, which I may never have an answer to, in my gut, I love them all, but we make mistakes. I made mistakes. I made mistakes. Perhaps posting that was a mistake, but I was in a really tough place, a really, really dark place. And instead of being there for me and supporting me, and there's more to the story that I can share, not in this video, but instead of being there for me and supporting me during some really crazy times, like if I tell you the stories, like, and they know it, they know the story because eventually I sent them all an email and told them what was going on because none of them really knew. So, what was really going on, right? Because I had to find out. I had to figure it out. I never knew anything about narcissistic relationships or patterns or behaviors or anything. I was completely had the wool pulled over my eyes, not being aware. So now I've educated myself and I can educate people and help people. So that happened for me, of course, as usual. We know this. And so I'm going to call it like even Steven. We messed up. I'm going to say we messed up. And I have a feeling that, they feel bad about how things went down. But the fact of the matter is that we can't really change it. We can only learn, grow, heal, move on from it, and know that it happened for our greatest and highest good. And so this is not a video to try to put my spiritual center down. They've helped me more than anything in the world. It's just that at that time where I really needed them, they abandoned me. And I forgive them. As far as the truth goes, we'll see. I don't know if I'll ever get the truth, but that's okay because I finally made peace with being able to speak my mind, tell them that I want the truth, and we'll see what happens. This is recent. But I've also just been, feeling the feels. And if I feel it in my gut in certain people that maybe follow me, I block them right away, because I can't mess around anymore. Energy is precious. It's like really important. It's really important to me to make sure that that we're centered into and grounded into oneness and God's light and God's goodness. So, so that's why. That's what happened. I love everyone at my spiritual center. I just think that between COVID and between what was going on in my life, there's a bit of a tornado that hit, and it's taken 2 years to clean up the mess. So thank you for watching. More to come. And this was just a share from my heart, sharing my story. And it's important to share your story. It's one way of healing and learning and moving to the next level in your life. So thank you guys. Peace, love, namaste. Make sure to hit the subscribe, follow, and receive notifications when I go live or upload a new video. Thank you so much. Peace, love, namaste. Bye.